Close your eyes and listen. Hidden stories drift through time like light slipping through a window, touching hearts without our noticing, teaching us that love isn't a single spark but a chorus of moments. Tonight we wander through those moments. A gentle map that starts in the oldest camps and ends in the quiet kitchen where two ordinary people choose each other again and again. This is the origin of romantic love, revealed not as a single discovery, but as a practice of fragile, radiant craft built from small acts, stubborn hope, and the stubborn faith that two souls might grow into something bigger than they were meant to be. We begin where early humans learned to read the world in shared warmth and scarcity, where the exchange of goods became a bridge between strangers. Picture a village at dusk, a ring of crops swaying, a barter of seeds and shells. A farmer hands a pouch of saffron to a neighbor, the gesture carrying more than currency. It says, "I see you. I rely on you. I am here with you, not against you." And in that simple moment, a thread is woven: trust. The trust isn't loud or sudden, it grows in the margins. In the return of help when drought comes. In the memory of a promise kept. And when two people learn to rely on each other, desire starts to breathe in the same air as gratitude. The origin story here isn't about a kiss that ignites a fire, it's about a table shared, a plan made together, and the quiet certainty that someone will be there tomorrow. Across deserts of time, we meet the storytellers who refused to pretend romance was only a spark. In many myths, a goddess or a god crafts a situation that tests two wandering hearts, not to punish them, but to give them the chance to choose, again and again, the path that leads toward each other. In one ancient tale, a goddess sets two strangers on a road that runs parallel to a river. The river offers temptations, doubt, fear. The easy road, but the travelers keep moving toward the bend where the other waits, perhaps not perfectly, yet sincerely. The lesson isn't that love is flawless, but that it learns to endure, to soften, to bend without breaking. The origin story here is a reminder. Affection isn't merely a feeling that happens. It's a decision written in small, daily lines. If you listen to the myths with modern ears, you hear a chorus of voices saying the same thing in different keys. Love is a practice of attention. The moment you stop listening to someone else's wants, you stop knowing them. The moment you stop showing up, you stop being seen. And so love is born in the margins of ordinary life, the shared meal after a long day, a note tucked into a lunchbox, a neighbor's quick repair, a friend's steady presence when the storm arrives. The origin is not glamorous in the Hollywood sense. It's the ritual of showing up, again and again, even when you are tired, even when you want to walk away. It's the slow magic of choosing each other when the world asks you to choose anything else. The Renaissance gave us a more intimate vocabulary for this choosing. Letters become a lifeline between two rooms, across seas of misunderstanding. A pair of lovers trade lines that feel almost like scripture. Meet me where the moonlight falls just so, stay with me through the quiet hours, tell me the truth you buried in your pockets. They learn that what makes romance feel sacred isn't the absence of conflict, but the courage to reveal truth in the face of fear. In these pages, love isn't it's a careful drawing of two people into alignment through trust, humor, and the stubborn belief that happiness is not a siren song but a shared direction. The origin story here moves from myth to memory, from spectacle to everyday vow. Fast forward to a city cafe on a rainy afternoon, where the modern chapter of this old tale plays out in real time. Two strangers sit near a window, each nursing a latte and a book, until a small accident, a spill, a shared laugh, an apology opens the door to something that feels older than both of them. They discover that love can begin with a misread coffee order or a wrong train stop, that the persistence of care is a language you teach yourself to speak over time. The science often gets loud in lectures: dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, but the quiet truth remains. Affection grows with consistent kindness. with the reminder that the other person is not an obstacle to your happiness but the path toward it. The origin is science and soul singing together. A duet that promises you don't have to become someone else to be loved. And then there are the moments when love becomes a choice to stay, not a decision to never hurt. We watch couples navigate ordinary storms. A wrong word spoken in fatigue, a memory that stings. A life change that reshapes their plans. What rekindles is not magic, it's a redefining of listening until the fear shrinks. Admitting mistakes with mercy. Forgiving not as a favor but as a shared stance against bitterness. The origin story in these scenes isn't about perfect forgiveness. It's about the daily discipline of repair, the ritual of saying, "I'm here," and meaning it enough to be patient while the other one learns to come home again. This is where love earns its name. Not for arriving at a flawless finish, but for staying with another imperfect person as they become more whole. And in the quiet, you begin to notice the geometry of affection around you. You see that love has roots in small sacrifices. Taking the longer route to save someone from a crowded train. Listening with your whole body even when you'd rather be elsewhere. Making space for the other's grief as they tell you what hurts. The origin story here isn't dramatic, it's humane. It teaches that happiness isn't a destination to reach alone but a landscape you cultivate side by side. Until the boundaries between I and we start to blur in a way that feels both tender and true. The deeper you go, the more you realize that love's origin is not a single birthplace but a series of birthings each. One a tiny revolution inside two people who learn to trust enough to let the other grow. So perhaps the origin of romance isn't a single myth, but a chorus of ordinary miracles. A partner who notices when you forget to eat and feeds you with a smile. A friend who asks a question you've never answered aloud and waits. A lover who holds your hand in a hospital corridor and doesn't pretend the fear isn't there. They simply choose to walk through it together. The romance we crave, the one that makes our hearts believe in endings that don't end, arises when two people decide to write their future in gentle, stubborn ink. They do not pretend the road is smooth. They carry each other across potholes, celebrate tiny triumphs, and keep faith as a compass when the map goes missing. The origin story woven through time tells us that love is not a lightning strike but a flame kept alive by daily tending, by choosing again and again to see the other person as a miracle you can learn to understand. If you listen closely, love's origin reveals itself in the textures of daily life. A shared blanket on a cold night. The comfort of a whispered "I'm here," the way hands find each other when words fail. The courage to forgive without erasing the hurt. The willingness to grow into a better version of yourself because you want to be worthy of another person's care. The origin is not the end of loneliness but the invitation to belong somewhere meaningful. To invent a sanctuary in a crowded world. The story teaches that heartbreak can be a doorway, not a prophecy. That resilience is a form of romance, one that understands that happy endings are earned, tended, and renewed with every act of love that follows. And so we arrive at a simple, comforting truth. Love begins when two people decide to show up for one another with patience, honesty, and tenderness. It grows when they choose curiosity over certainty, vulnerability over bravado, and faith over fear. The origin of romantic love, at its most luminous, is not one grand gesture but 1,000 small, brave choices that say, "I see you. I value you. I will stay with you as you become more you." If you carry one idea with you from this journey, let it be this. Every loving moment you've ever given or received is part of a shared inheritance. A treasure hidden in plain sight, waiting to be remembered and honored again. We end where we began, with a promise whispered in the margins of everyday life. Not every day glows, but every day can be a step towards something larger than ourselves. The origin of romantic love is in the willingness to return, to repair, to forgive, to listen, to grow. It is found in a cup of coffee shared after a long day, in a letter kept in a drawer, in a hand held through a difficult night, In the quiet decision to remain true to the other person's good even when your own fear speaks loud. And if you take nothing else from this journey, take this: love is older than fear, more patient than the clock, and more possible than we tell ourselves. It lives in the ordinary, waiting to be claimed again and again by those who choose love as a daily practice. So may you find your own stories in the soft hours, may you tend them with care. And may you discover that the origin of romance is right here, in the bravery of choosing love, day after day, together. Thank you for listening to Hidden Stories. Until next time, may your own origins